Today's share for Secret Garden of Soul is about seeds. This is Phoebe Ava Spiller. Seeds in a garden are important because that's how many things grow. But so are thoughts like seeds, because what we hold in our mind or in our focus is also what we grow in our life. Many seeds can reside in soil, even sand, for decades, or dried and stashed away for centuries, and still carry the genetic spark of life within, that given the right kind of soil and growing conditions will sprout, then send out a tender stalk of green even before pushing up through the soil to gain access to the sun and rain for the elements it needs to grow. Today's short story share is about how words are like seeds, because it is our thoughts that create our realities, and what we hold in these thoughts have the power to grow what we focus on. This short story share is called Fear in a Dream. Several years ago, I was scheduled for doing a workshop inside a woman's prison unit, and I wasn't conscious of having fears until just a few days before the workshop. I had this dream. In the dream, I was being escorted through several sets of iron doors that clanged loudly behind me, and finally into a cafeteria where long tables were filled with women eating lunch. The tables were lined with steel folding chairs, and not much room to walk between the rows of tables, chairs, and bodies towards the room at the back where there was a gray door. The guards had told me this was where I would be holding this workshop. But they stayed behind as I began to walk down what seemed like a gauntlet of faces toward that closed gray door. Suddenly, a very large woman just in front of my right side scooted her chair back so fast it tipped over. She stood up, shouted loudly into my face, "I'll bet your little ass is going to be so scared you'll turn tail and run out of here." I was startled, shocked by how hostile she was, but didn't run. I stood still, looked her in the eye, and these words came out of my mouth, or through me, that were life-changing for me. Having fears are normal. Being afraid is a choice. Now sit down. Let's have a workshop. I then woke up, as startled in real life as in my dreams, yet feeling blessed with the wisdom imparted to me. A few days later, I did hold that real-life workshop called A Piece of My Mind, Telling the Truth Through Poetry. It was an incredible experience, with over 30 women using the exercises of the workshop to write a poem, and then for some to share it with the rest of us. Some of them even shared about the very thing that took them into prison, and for the first time, without fear, they were able to express themselves on paper about what that experience was like, and come to the point of being able to tell the truth about it. And that is what I remember from their faces, is just how liberated they were, even though they were still incarcerated. It was very profound for me.